Assalamu alaikum, dear students. You are again welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will discuss the textual questions of the story Footprints Without Feet. This is the fourth lecture regarding this story. In previous three lectures, we have discussed the story about Griffin, a scientist, and now we will discuss the textual questions of this lesson at page number 5, 6. After that, we will discuss the language work of this lesson also. First of all, we will discuss the textual questions. There are 14 textual questions in this lesson. I have written the answers only. You can write the questions from your textbook from page 6 and 5 and 6. Question number 1. How would you assess Griffin as a scientist? After repeated experiments, Griffin discovered how to make the human body transparent. This was a big achievement, however, he misused his discovery for his personal gains and for hurting others. Thus, though he can be termed as a brilliant scientist, he was not a noble one. He was a brilliant scientist, but he was not a noble one. Question number 2. The two boys in London were surprised and fascinated. Why? The two boys in London were surprised and fascinated when they found fresh, muddy footprints of someone appearing before them without seeing someone. They wondered who was leaving the footprints and followed them until they became fainter and fainter and at last disappeared altogether. Now, question number 3. What did Griffin do inside the shop? Shop में उसने क्या किया? Griffin gave himself the pleasure of clothing and feeding without any regard to expenses in the shop. He had been naked and hungry for some time. Now he put on shoes, an overcoat, and a wide-brimmed hat. Then he ate meat, some sweets, and drank wine in the kitchen of the restaurant. Finally, he sat down on a pile of quilts for warmth. Question number 4. How did Griffin escape from the London store? When the assistants arrived in the morning to open the store, they found Griffin in the store and began to chase him. Griffin was able to escape only by quickly taking off his newly worn clothes. By doing this, he became invisible again and thus escaped from the store. Question number 5. Griffin entered the shop of a theatrical company. What did he do there? In the shop of the theatrical company, Griffin made his way upstairs. Inside there, he dressed himself fully, wearing bandages around his forehead, dark glasses, false nose, big bushy side whiskers, and a large hat. To escape without being seen, he callously attacked the shopkeeper from behind and robbed him of all the money he could find. Question number 6. Why was the arrival of the stranger in a village inn an unusual event? Give 2 reasons. The arrival of a stranger in a village inn was in itself a strange occurrence. In addition, the stranger had an uncommon appearance. In spite of Mrs. Hall's attempts to be friendly, he would respond in a cold manner. He had no desire to talk, wanted to live in solitude, and did not wish to be disturbed in his work. Question number 7. How did the scientist look when he came to the inn? The scientist looked queer. Queer means strange and unnatural because of his uncommon appearance when he came to the inn. He had put on costumes including false nose and side whiskers to prevent himself of being invisible. क्योंकि अगर वो ये चीज़ें नहीं पहनता तो वो दिखाई नहीं देता था. Then we have question number 8. at page number 6 of your textbook. The landlord's wife was convinced that Griffin was an eccentric scientist. What made her think of Griffin in these terms? The landlord's wife was convinced that Griffin was an eccentric scientist because of the reason that his arrival in the inn in winter was itself a strange occurrence. Besides this, his uncommon appearance also made him suspicious. Above all, in spite of Mrs. Hall's attempt to be friendly, he had with him. He responded in the cold manner. He had no desire to talk with her. He did not wish to be disturbed in his work and wanted to live in solitude. Then we have question number 9. What was the curious episode that took place in the clergyman's study? The clergyman and his wife were awakened by the noises in the study very early in the morning. While creeping downstairs, they heard the chunk of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. They opened the room to find the robber, but to their surprise, nobody was seen. They searched under the desk and behind the curtains and even up the chimney. These were there was not a sign of anyone, yet the housekeeping money was missing. Question number 10 of the lesson. The landlord and his wife were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open. Why were they surprised? What three extraordinary things happened in the room? The landlord and his wife were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open because the scientist usually kept his door shut and locked, and he would get furious if somebody opened his door. The three extraordinary things that happened in the room were: the hat on the bedpost leapt up and dashed at Miss Hall's face. Second one, the bedroom chair became alive, rose up in the air, and pushed Mrs. Hall and her husband out of the room. Third one, the door was slammed and locked, though there was no one in the room. Now, question number 11 of this lesson. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs in hysterics. Pick out an example of humor from what follows this incident. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs in hysterics. The best example of humor from what follows this incident is when Mrs. Hall thought about the chair on which her mother used to sit, and now the same chair rose against her. Question number 12. The scientist was furious. What did he do in anger? Why were the people in the bar horrified? The scientist became furious when the village constable was sent for to arrest him. In anger, he threw off his bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and all other worn costumes over the shoulders. With the result, he became a headless man. The people in the bar were horrified because they found themselves staring at a headless man who was becoming invisible before them. Question number 13. What happened to the constable? Constable के साथ क्या मामला पेश आया? The constable tried to arrest the scientist who was at that time headless. The scientist then threw off his clothes one by one in order to become invisible. After some time, he could not be seen at all. Then the constable tried to get hold of the unseen scientist, but he got back blows which seemed to come from nowhere. At the end, the constable was knocked down unconscious by the scientist. The last question of this lesson. The scientist was a man of irritable temper. Give an example to prove this. It is clear from the lesson that the scientist was a man of irritable temper. Some examples which prove this are: when his landlord disliked him and tried to eject him, he in revenge set fire to the house. उसने पूरे मकान को ही आग लगा दी. Second one, when Mrs. Hall tried to be friendly with him, he neglected her and had no desire to talk. उसने उसके साथ बात भी नहीं की और उसको कहा कि मुझे अकेला छोड़ दो. Third one, when Mrs. Hall wanted to know from him how he entered the locked room, he lost his temper and became violent and warned her. These are some of the evidences that the scientist was a man of irritable temper. Now this is the character sketch of this Griffin scientist. कैरेक्टर स्केच है इसके बारे में, ये भी मैंने यहाँ ही लिखा है. Griffin was beyond all doubt a brilliant scientist. He used his scientific temper to make a rare drug that could make human body as transparent as a sheet of glass and also as solid as the sheet of glass. His discovery was remarkable. Griffin was, however, an unreasonable scientist. He could have used his discovery for the good of the humanity, but he did not do that. He instead misused his discovery for trivial issues and for his personal benefits. He made others suffer at his hands. He was short-tempered. He told lies. He stole money. He used all available means to strike terror in the people. He threatened people and even beat a constable who had come there to arrest him. Thus, he used his discovery for personal gains rather than for common good. Now the language work of this lesson. Language work part A. This is actually about writing a notice. You have been asked to inform students of class 11th, 11th to 12th, sorry, 9th to 12th, about an inter-school debate on aliens can invade the earth. This is the name of topic. Aliens can invade the earth. Aliens जमीन पर हमला कर सकती है. Draft a notice in 50 words to be put on the school notice board with all necessary details. आपको एक नोटिस बनानी है जो नोटिस बोर्ड पर लगानी है, स्कूल के जो नोटिस बोर्ड होते हैं वहाँ पर. बट द नोटिस शुड बी इन 50 वर्ड्स only, not more than 50 words. दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको लिखना है नोटिस, देन आपको लिखना है इंटर स्कूल डिबेट. दिस इज अ डिबेट. फिर आपको डेट लिखना है 19th of February 2017. द कल्चरल विंग ऑफ गवर्नमेंट हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल कुलगाम. आप किसी और हायर सेकेंडरी का नाम लिख सकते हो या किसी और स्कूल का नाम लिख सकते हो. इज ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एन इंटर स्कूल डिबेट ऑन द टॉपिक एलियंस कैन इन्वेड द अर्थ. ये मैंने इन्वर्टेड कामाज में रखा है, आप अंडरलाइन भी कर सकते हो. ऑन 5th of June 2017 एट गवर्नमेंट हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल कुलगाम. Students willing to take part in this debate can register their names for the final selection. All students who are willing to take part in this program can register their names for the final selection by or before May 31st, 2017. For further details, you can contact on phone number. This is the phone number of the teacher, of the concerned teacher, whom you can contact for this. सेक्रेटरी गवर्नमेंट हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल कुलगाम. इस तरह हम ये नोटिस लिख सकते हैं अबाउट 50 वर्ड्स रिगार्डिंग ऑन द टॉपिक एलियंस कैन इन्वेड द अर्थ. This was the textual questions and language work, and now there is grammar portion that is regarding punctuation. We can discuss this. We will discuss this in next video. Till that, goodbye.